Once upon a time, in a small town, there lived a curious and bright-eyed grade 1 student named Emma. Emma was always full of questions and had an insatiable thirst for knowledge. One day, her teacher, Mrs. Johnson, noticed Emma's fascination with the stars and planets during their science lesson. "Emma," Mrs. Johnson said, with a warm smile, "how would you like to learn more about NASA, the space agency that explores the wonders of the universe?" Emma's eyes lit up with excitement, and she eagerly nodded her head. That afternoon, Mrs. Johnson decided to take the class on a special virtual field trip to NASA's headquarters. The students gathered around the interactive smartboard, and Mrs. Johnson clicked a few buttons to transport them into the fascinating world of NASA. Suddenly, they found themselves in a control room filled with computers and scientists bustling about. Emma's eyes widened as she saw images of astronauts floating in space, spaceships launching into the sky, and rovers exploring distant planets. Mrs. Johnson explained, "NASA stands for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. They are a group of brilliant scientists and engineers who explore space, study the stars, and send astronauts on amazing missions." Emma was enthralled by the stories of astronauts like Neil Armstrong, the first person to walk on the moon, and Valentina Tereshkova, the first woman in space. She couldn't believe that people could actually travel beyond the Earth. As the virtual tour continued, Emma learned about the different spacecraft, telescopes, and rovers that NASA used to explore the universe. She saw breathtaking images of distant galaxies, nebulae, and planets. Emma's imagination soared as she envisioned herself floating in the vastness of space. Mrs. Johnson encouraged the students to ask questions, and Emma couldn't wait to raise her hand. "Why does NASA explore space?" she asked. Mrs. Johnson smiled. "NASA explores space to discover new things, learn about our solar system, and understand more about the universe. They also study space to see if there are other planets that could support life, just like Earth." Emma nodded, absorbing all the information like a sponge. The virtual field trip to NASA was an unforgettable adventure for the grade 1 class. Inspired by what she learned, Emma decided to create a colorful drawing of herself as an astronaut, exploring the stars and planets. As the day came to an end, Mrs. Johnson told the students, "Remember, just like NASA scientists, you can achieve anything you set your mind to. Dream big and reach for the stars." And so, with newfound knowledge and a heart full of dreams, Emma and her classmates left the virtual world of NASA, excited for the limitless possibilities that awaited them in the great expanse of the universe.